Hiya everyone, Miacidae here, welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. There's been a slight change of plans. A few mod makers have asked a few favors of me. and this is coming out a few days after the favors have been asked. So we're going to be going to the Weald instead of the runes today, like previously mentioned in the last episode. I had been planning on going and fighting the Wild Hunt and the Nerub fights in the runes if I could find them. However, today we're going to the Weald to try to find more of the enemies from Wildlife Madness. Now there's two reasons for this. One is Sting had wanted me to find Bristleback Baboon. They only appear in the Weald in champion levels and the courtyard, but you are not paying me to go back to the courtyard right now. So we're going to the Weald to find them. Mainly because my understanding was I don't think many people had fought the baboon as of me talking to Sting. Now the other reason that we're kind of going away from the runes and into the Weald is because there is a mod that is not released yet, and normally I don't do unreleased mods on my channel, mainly because they are harder for everyone else to access. However, Vintage, the person who made a lot of the mods we use on this channel and on this estate, so really quick, Vintage might not have like quote unquote made, but Vintage at least had a hand in making these mods. So the Tempest, the Trophy Hunter, which I know everybody loves, the Arbiter, the Anointed, and the Prefect are all mods on this estate that he has helped make. And there's other ones on my, not on my estate that he has helped make, one of which being like the Resonant. And I know there's a few others that Vintage has helped, I just can't remember off the top of my head what those are, just to give you an idea of what they have made. Vintage wanted me to show that on my channel, so I need to get that to spawn. So I need to progress a week, and I thought it would do really well in the runes, possibly against the Wild Hunt, and possibly against Nerub. So we're going to go into the Weald, progress that week, get the apprentice version of it, play with apprentice for a week if we can. Then I'm going to do some save shenanigans, put it up to level 6 and act like it was a level 6 just so we don't have to level it up. And then we'll go into the Nerub stuff with it, just so everyone knows kind of what's happening behind the scenes and where to go get that mod. But Vintage asked me to go and play with the mod on my channel for a bit, and Sting wanted me to fight the baboon. So that's why we're doing this. So that's why we didn't go with the original plan, but hope everyone's all right with that and we get another class to play with. Let's go have some fun in the Weald. Let's go over the group, just so everyone is aware. Unfortunately, the thing from the stars is here again, and the Dwimmerlaik is here, so we'll see if any shenanigans happen today. The group for today is gonna be a bleeding team. Of course, we know me, I love my bleeding teams. We're gonna have Pernicosis the Lawbringer. We have a trinket turning Ignis Ember into a bleeding thing, so we'll go over that in a moment, but just keep that in the back of your minds. Otherwise, Pernicosis the Lawbringer is doing a lot of our damage. Mainly going to be using like Shove and Long Arm here as his first action move, and then going into either Ignis Ember, Swift Justice, or Ad Mortem, depending upon what I need. Ignis Ember being usually my go-to, hitting the rows 2 and 3 and bleeding them, or Ad Mortem finishing things off. That's why he has to be in row 2 or row 1. For trinkets, we have the Fragmentation Grenades, upping his accuracy by 8. Ignis Ember will do 25% less damage. Only Ignis Ember does 25% less damage. Everything gets plus 8 accuracy, and Ignis Ember will bleed all targets for 3 rounds. We then have Legay's Justice Day, so he does plus 25% damage, kind of canceling out the minus damage to Ignis Ember there, but all his other moves get plus 25% damage. He gets 12 accuracy versus anything below 50% health. He will also bypass the regard. However, he gets minus 20% max HP, but he is still a tank, so he has 52 health still. We're then going to have Tamra, the Navigator. She's going to be a bleeding build. So just front loading this, we have delayed causality on her. On melee hit, her base damage is converted to bleed. If she deals 13 damage, instead of dealing 13 damage, she will deal 13 bleed damage for 1 round. However, if she crits, instead of doing for 1 round, it's 2 rounds. We'll get back to that later, but just so we know, instead of damages, it's bleed. We have Behead. So instead of minus damage, it's minus bleed amount. And then we have plus dodge, ignore, and plus crit versus Votile on Behead, also -2 speed on her while she uses that. We have Whirlwind, which also has a little effect with delayed causality, converts plus damage while Votile to plus bleed amount. So Whirlwind turns into a pretty good skill to use. We have Broadside, that if we are Votile, will mark herself and buff herself plus 100% damage reflection. If she's not Votile, she gets 2 blocks and clears her mark. And then we have Disrupt to make a random target Votile and gain an extra action. So little shenanigans going on here with the delayed causality, because we can up our bleed amount then doing extra damage, things like that. We have the Basilisk Claw also then, so we do plus armor piercing for melee skills. I don't think that's gonna matter. We have plus bleed chance for our melee skills, so we have a better chance of actually bleeding. It's gonna be a 170 instead of a 140. We have plus 10 crit versus anything that's bleeding, so after our first hit, or if anyone else bleeds anything first, she has a higher chance to crit, meaning that's going to be for 2 turns instead of 1. And then she has plus crits received while mark, so a 15% chance that's going to happen to her. And then on attack, she will mark herself. We then have Darien, the Exanimate, with Punish, a little bit of blight attached to this. He'll hurt himself if he's above 25% health if he uses it. Deathless to heal someone else for 34% of their max HP. He'll hurt himself for 12 if he's above 33% HP. We have Lash's Gift, so he can heal himself for 34% of his max HP if he is below 50% of his, which will also clear a target stun, give them a block, up their damage by 35%, and stress them out by 7. And Necrosis, which will only hit blighted or corpses, heal himself by 10% of max HP per target hit, and clear all corpses. We then have the Seal of the Scourge, so his HP is up by 15%. He'll take 50% less damage from bleed and blight, and if he uses a friendly skill, which is Deathless or Lash's Gift, he will steal the bleed and blight from them. We then have Emancipation on him, so he does plus 25% damage if his HP is below 20. He has -20% bleed resistance. And on melee attack, which is only Punish, but it's still Punish, transfers the bleed or the blight from him to the target. And finally, we have Robin the Bowman, who's going to be using mainly bleeding arrows with piercing arrows to hit all 4. That's why he's in row 4, doing a 3-for-3 bleed as a base. Limb Snipe to minus accuracy and crit for 1 round, also does a little bit of a bleed. And the Kill, which does a lot of damage the lower their health is, also has a bit of a blight or a bleed attached. We then have the Whip of Domination, so he does more damage versus anything that's bleeding, making the kill do a lot more damage potentially, or just anything else. Plus bleed chance, plus bleed duration, minus bleed resistance, and minus health on him. And then we have the Moon Oil Bowstring. So on hit, plus bleed and blight amount received on all other enemies. So if he hits with piercing arrows, every target gets that. And then we have on kill, other enemies will get 1 bleed and 1 blight for 3 rounds. So we have a lot of potential things going for us. Let's see what we get. And then for some reason we're getting the Grimoire of the Cult, so it helps us level up at things, but we get a minus virtue chance. I'm not sure why we're getting a cult trinket outside of doing anything for the cult, but you know, whatever. And once again, we are looking basically for things from the Wildlife Madness, so we'll see how this goes. There's a case to be made for the Anathenum ribbons, and then I can bring a third one for Darien there. Let's bring the yellow hand just so we don't get surprised, and we'll be fine. Actually, I didn't see that we had another slot. Let's bring the memorial ribbons, actually, and be smart about this. Alright, let's go. Alrighty. Everyone gets a training. That's 5 accuracy, Anathenum on Robin, Darien, and Paranacosis, because debuff chance and blight chance. So mainly for the debuff on Paranacosis, blight and debuff on Robin, blight and debuff on Darien. Scouting on Tamra. And we're going to do Memorial, which is plus 8 crit chance if below 50% health, and minus 8 crits received if above 50% health. That's going to be on our 2 tanks. That's Paranacosis, that's Darien. Alright, we got to go down first. Been a long time since I've seen one of those. Paranacosis. I can get plus damage from that. And we did not. We got stress. Oh, there's basilisks. I say that like I knew someone was observed or something like that. I'm just not in the mood to fight them right now. Ew, I'm gonna have to rearrange this. Bleeding arrows first, and then we're gonna piercing hit both of them. Bleeding and blighting. Ha ha ha. I'm gonna try to disrupt. That did not do what I wanted. Well, we can still hit the giant.
Executed.
Bleeding for 22. That's really no good. Impale hitting the claw that seems to have a different name, and then we're gonna Ignis Ember them.
A powerful blow.
I think the claw bleeds out. I'll readjust my mic here. It's falling again for some reason. And then you're gonna move back. You are going to shove.
A decisive pummeling.
And then Swift Justice does 26. Yeah, we're gonna Swift Justice him. And then you and Whirlwind hit both of them, just have funsies. Bleeding for 34. Yeah, Behead does a lot more bleed, it looks like. Well, he got swatted. Deathless, let's heal up. There we go.
The slow death.
I wouldn't say that was a very slow death. I would say that was a very quick bleed out. We're gonna necrosis and heal up.
A singular.
Hit him pretty hard. Disrupt. Splat. Why did we... Huh? I don't think that worked right. I recovered my Votile. What happened? That didn't work right. I need to talk to about that. Give me one moment. I'm sorry about all these, like, DMing mid recordings, but I've been forgetting to do a lot of this, and then if I don't DM them right away, I don't DM them until, like, I edit the episode, which could be a day, 2 days, sometimes 3 days later, and then, yeah, it's more time they could be using to work on it. There we go. So there's definitely a boss here, but I'm gonna go right first, clear out this section. We'll come back to that, torch up. And... well, I think I want the Virago first, but the shield dude might need to go. So I'll get him blighted first. We might get blighted from that, or move back. Oh, that means we can't use piercing arrow. Who are you, sir? We'll limb snipe and get rid of the dodge. And then we can whirlwind hit these two.
And power.
15 bleed, 15 bleed. Shove. Not that it really matters. Still gives us a little bit of a buff, and then we'll Ignis Ember these two.
Onslaught. Destroy.
15 bleed on the claw, which that bleed is gonna fall off, I believe. Oh, I guess not. Whirlwind again, hitting the Virago. Really wanted that Virago. Alright, let's Yeah, limb snipe the Virago again. Got the debuff, that's what I wanted. Moving forward so that I can do piercing. We're going to long arm to pull the Madman. That's only 24. Okay. Ignis Ember again. Lead time.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
That stress is gonna add up. 6 and 4. I can do Whirlwind again on them. Would you stop that? I do not appreciate that movement.
Fight. Folders.
I really do not appreciate it. He bleeds out. So we can use... I see your game, Virago. I see it. But how's that?
Advantage. Give them no quarter.
We'll just move for now so I don't take too much more damage on Damien or Darian. Take the emerald, take the money, take the torch. We're already in default order, so look at the tent. Ooh, we got a map. Survey says a few more fights. Get rid of that stress. Torch up. Ooh, the Hallowed Harvester. I have not seen you in a minute, buddy. And you want to attack the Bowman. The one guy who really can't handle an attack too well. Alright, well, this creature. Let's get it blighted. Gonna piercing arrows all of them. Bleed. And 1 block left. Okay. Long arm pulling, getting the block off. Oh. Ignis Ember then. There we go. And then please disrupt hit the thing I want. Thank you. Now I can behead.
Impressive.
Got the crit, 26 bleed, 3 rounds. I think the bigger bleed is only for 2, but nonetheless. Holy hell.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
I'll harvest moon you.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
Alright, birdie, let's play. Long arm you, so you come forward. Even with the crit with a higher chance, really. Fine. Swift Justice Bird. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I can't hit who I want, but Birdie still goes down.
Quakes. Confusion. Nerves.
Emergency heal. Love to see that 31 bleed. It makes me giggle inside. And then we can limb snipe and minus that accuracy. Because we don't need to hit everything. And he still hit.
Festering fear
Love to see it.
consumes the mind.
He really does not like Robin. He really does not like Robin. Well, shove. $30 bleed. Add mortem. Do a little more bleed. He goes down, yeah? Oh, that was a weak ad mortem, but we got the stun. Bandaging that, we'll move forward. The kill. Really? Oh, we need to heal. We need to heal. Yeah, 8 bleed. So I need to do a bit more, and then, of course, Feed the Soil goes off. So he can still take Robin out. You and your Harvest Moon. There we go. Bleed for me.
Death by injury. Success so clear.
Oh, we got the Jack-o'-lantern. Minus torch rate, plus stress relief done. Plus scouting chance if torch below 75, and minus chance monster surprised. Well, we'll complete our set. I'm very tempted to camp in the next room, because we are not looking good. Feast for the stress and the health.
It's a goal without hope.
Oh, death is coming. Okay, we can get through this. Let me see here. I'm not sure if Feed the Edge would actually do me much good because the +% damage. I'm not sure how that actually translates because it's base damage. Alright, so serrated arrowheads, survival skills for the scouting chance. Gonna pack lightly so he can dodge. Gonna do battle ready for the protection of the riposte, which I will use. Yeah, that works. Okay. So ask for Navigator for more scouting. I don't care about the dodge versus Clapper Claw. And then we're going to do Law Enforcer for extra virtue chance.
The light, the promise of
Alright,
safety.
Death, let's go. She ain't happy with me, that's for sure. Well, I mean, at least she went for the Exanimate, right? Let's lower her accuracy if we can. There we go. It does bug me a bit that sometimes you can't see her damage when you attack her. I want her coming in. I don't want her out of rows 1 and 2. So, oof. She has such a high bleed resistance. I would love to use at... You know what? This gets rid of her dodge. I'll deal with it if she gets moved out of the rank. And I didn't even get the debuff off.
Exposed to a killing
Oof.
foe.
Shuffle single.
Diminished.
Well, shuffle single. Didn't work. I can keep trying. You and your resists. Only like a 60% chance, man. Ay, limb snipe. We need to heal. Kinda surprised that trample only did that. Shove? And then I actually do need to get the riposte going. So it's Juggernaut. I'm not gonna do well against this death fight, I can tell. Dude, I have 2 people marked already. Why are you going for the non-marked? What he do to you?
Dread.
Alright, we need to heal, so just moving forward. Gonna... we don't take that much from it. Deathless to heal. Yeek. Okay. Trying to pull so I can do something to her. Then I'm gonna go for the damage on Swift Justice. I'm not gonna try for the other thing. I can do Behead. Or... no, that doesn't do damage. I don't think Broadside... would this get me my... no. I was thinking that might transfer that, but no. But at least it gave me the Aegis. That was handy, right? Alright, just start going for the kill. Obviously, we're not getting the debuff. Lash's gift up damage Pernicosis is doing. He's carrying us right now. Also give him that Aegis. Ooh.
The abyss returns.
Pull, please. Pull. She only has a 60% move chance. Why is she not getting pulled? Pretty sure that still works despite the fact that they have 240. Okay, Ad Mortem. That had a stun chance equipped to it. Still resisted that. I just have the horrible chance. Got the debuff. Two health left. I can't even finish her off. Can't even finish her off. Push her. Finish her. Just push. Ay, ay, ay. Kind of funny that those stayed in rank 3 and 4.
As the enemy crumbles.
Okay, let's take an actual look at this here. Bandage that. Default party order. Food Pernicosis, and then take these. Cool. Down we go. I don't need the torch right now, I can wait. No. No. How this run is going, no. Maybe at the end of this, if everything is going alright. But I already did the double Banshee on Champion. Like, just give me the other fights I want, man.
A devastating blow.
If I did that bad on Death, I do not think this group can do a Banshee. I'm bleeding for 19. Can probably take out the otherworldly image here. Which we're being observed, so the more you know. Resisted the bleed, but it's still going to bleed out, I think. So we're good there. Hit these two. actually hit the Virago. Got some more luck going our way finally. 19 and 26, the Claw goes down, so we just need the Virago down, which minus accuracy and crit. And it missed us. We're finally having a bout of good luck. We just needed to beat death. Oh, it's beautiful.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
There we go.
Foolish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
Oh, you have no idea how happy that slightly okay fight made me. Okay, 2 Bushrangers. This is bad. They give a lot of damage reflection, and they have plus damage versus marked. We're gonna do piercing arrows, get everyone bleeding. The good thing here is Tamra doesn't do actual damage. So she'll like bleed them. I'm gonna long arm. That's not gonna work the way I want it to. We're just gonna shove, which didn't even work. You can just Ember, bleed them. We want that lovely damage over time. Yeah, I think that's like a 33 reflection. 25. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. But it's still not great considering the other one's going to use the same move, and now they're going to have a 50. Yeah, 50 protection, 50 damage reflection. So they have 80% protection. These guys have 75. A good thing I'm doing bleeding, which is going to tear them apart. But Robin here, for example, even though he's doing 1 to 2, he's going to get that reflected back to him.
The blood quickens.
Alright, let's make sure they bleed out. And we're actually gonna do this Drunken Recuperation for a little bit of a heal. And then we're gonna Juggernaut so I don't take damage. I believe I just win because 41 bleed damage there. Gonna heal Pernicosis. And watch him draw.
Eradicated.
Now I just need to not do damage to this one. There we go. Had to just play smart. They don't always do. I'm gonna admit that. Valuables in the tent. Thank you very much. Robin can eat. Did not scout a secret room, so I'm not gonna take the key. I don't need the wrap. However, complete 100% of battle rooms, I do need to go to the battle. Hey, Cultist Deacon. Haven't seen them in a while. Bleed. Then we're gonna catch up on some healing. Pernicosis is gonna... You know, I wanted to long arm the Deacon so I could... No matter what I do, I don't get what I want. So we're gonna shove the Cultist. Frenzied Cultist here. And then we're just gonna Ignis Ember these two. Oh, there we go. So Cultist, which goes down. Then I can Whirlwind these two, bleeding them. And I don't think I bleed the Cultist Deacon for enough, but it's a good start. Ouchie. And he heals off that. Thankfully, I think the Deacon is more of a buffer. Nope.
The horror. How quickly the tide turns.
Yeah, just AoE him down. There's that blight. Healing Robin. We'll catch up on this yet. Take out the cultist. He bleeds out. Oh, that's a heavy heal. Okay, change of plans. Shove, which missed. Lovely. He does have some dodge. I guess I can see that. And then we're gonna add Mortal Arm. Not as much as he was healed for, but it does stun him, so he can't heal himself with Neck Ripper. Then I want to see if I can't get Darien to do something. Nope. Okay. I was hoping I'd be able to heal one more time. That is not the case.
Triumphant pride precipitates.
What I'm not sure is why we're healing at the end of battle. And why he's curing that at the end of the battle. That doesn't say he's doing that at the end of the fight or anything like that. I genuinely don't know.
Nature herself, a victim.
Okay, leaving that. Going in.
With misintent.
Yeah, these beholders, man. I should have double checked for the beholder thing and gotten rid of it. That way there weren't as many of them spawning. If I wanted the wildlife madness. Yikes.
True test.
Thankfully they can't hit Robin again.
Or expire.
There's that. I don't think the Shriekling can hit roll 4. Can hit roll 3. So AoE bleed. We bled them all. Debuffed them all. Nice. I want the Virago down. So, Ignis Ember. Get that bleed going. And then Whirlwind. Get them bleeding. Which, 15, 19. Good start.
Such a
Owie!
cannot be left unanswered.
That Lo and Behold, man. Alright, we're gonna Ignis these two again. I think the bird goes down, so we might have a Parasite. AoE the bleed. Unfortunately, because it's decay and not... That's weird. Didn't show the corpse. Because it didn't technically die, the effect doesn't go off. And well, that's one thing that does bug me at times. Alright, so healing Darien. Those kinds of effects are kind of weird because it's like, we got the kill, but you're not going to get the effect for the kill. So these two should bleed out now. Just Virago left. With 12 bleed on him. Little more than 12. 34. Okay, take Emerald. Leave the rest. That was a trinket.
Victory,
So
nonetheless.
didn't really need it. And if we get food checks along the way, we'll heal for a little bit. Now we'll take the Emerald, we'll pop the holy water, leave the rest. The silly thing here about, like, all of the beholders popping, I'll come back to this as well, if party's looking alright. I had the item to get rid of all of the beholders, like the quirk for it. I just neglected to take it. So that's on me. That's 100% on me. Who even has it? Darien has observed. So, yeah, we could have gotten rid of it. Because we have the eye from the last time we beat the Beholder boss. Although a lot of people have the observed quirk. You can only get rid of one of them. There's a little heal. That's kind of nice. I was kind of banking on it. Alright. One of these is going to be a boss. What boss? I don't know. Got the Dwimmerlaik. It can be bled and blighted. That's nice. Oh.
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
That's how he's gonna play, huh? You absolute prick. I think what I want to do is get Juggernaut going for the riposte. Then lower your accuracy and your crit because you're a prick. We're gonna no, I'm not gonna risk the disrupt going off on. Screw it. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. I had it on Behead. I was gonna say I was gonna have the disrupt go off on him, but or at least try for it. Yeah, it dodged. Okay. I guess if it doesn't go off on the right one. Alright, well, you should miss again. Let's do Lash's Gift that way. He's healed, we get the Aegis. That's the reasoning there. And then we can Swift Justice and whack him. Then we can Deathless to heal. Very nice hit back. Limb Snipe again, lower that accuracy. Didn't get the debuff. Well, we got the riposte again. That's really chunking them out. I love it. Behead. Just go for it. I'm not going to bother with Disrupt. So I don't get my turn back. I shove. Ooh, yeah, we're going to do the Juggernaut because he seems to be going for Pernicosis a lot, and that's paying off. Don't you go into the Reconstitute spam. I'm going to be very angry if you do that. At least he's not spamming it. Our healer is stunned. That's not great. He's bleeding for 3. He's bleeding for a lot more. Will the kill do a lot of damage? It will. Well, it could. Shove. I don't think Ad Mortem's gonna do a lot here. Oh, it could. Go for it. He bleeds out. He bleeds out. Okay. Dwimmerlaik down.
These nightmarish creatures can be felt.
Kind of odd getting a Hollow Knight drop. So I'm not like saying it's bad. 30 armor piercing is huge for some heroes, and bypassing guard and always crit versus guard did. I'm not sure that's the biggest in the Weald, but for like the Cove and some of the Warrens, that's pretty big. And minus 10% damage, Small price to pay. We're taking it. I will get rid of some of these torches just because we've gone through half of this so far. Got my anti-venom back. Nothing else in there I really wanted. There's another mini-boss. I was not expecting two in the same hallway. Usually it's one if they're that close together. But, I mean, it's something else to fight. Let's... Ooh, we're not gonna blight it. Well, still can bonk it. We are going to limb snipe. Just lower that lovely accuracy of it. The News Titans. It actually hit still. Shove. Juggernaut for the riposte. And now things get fun. Disrupt, because there's only one of them, and then I do extra versus Votile. I'm not sure that actually works, but, you know. 22 bleed. Because it's base bleed chance. $40 bleed. I'm having fun with this. $52 bleed before it wore off. Let's get rid of your bleeding and then shove the tree, because shoving a tree should work. And Swift Justice it. Join us. No, thank you. I don't think you want him to face the Gallows. He's gonna do stuff to you. He's gonna hit you with that pole arm. It's not gonna feel good. The kill's only gonna 8 to 16 with 40 protection. Okay, I was gonna say that's not gonna do too much, but protection. Right. Camera's masochistic, lovely.
Those who covet injury find it in no short.
I don't understand those verses, I'm sorry.
Monstrous size has no
tree down, got another trinket, missing news. Plus stun chance, plus 8 crit, minus 20 stun, minus 20 stun resistance, minus 10 death blow resistance. Oof. I am running out of things to get rid of. We do not need the money. We do not need the money. Actually, my bad. I should be going down to this room. It's 100% of room battles. We'll dig out the rabbit's hole in a bit. Mew, what's up here? Alright, so what we want to do is shove the claw. I think what I'm going to do is Swift Justice the Cicada. Kind of wanted the Cicada down. Then we're going to punish it, because my thought was if it went down, then I could just whirlwind those two. So we're going to Piercing Arrows, there we go. Because it's down, blight and bleed on everything. Whirlwind away. 21, 21. So Raving Madman goes on next action if I don't take him out first with the Bowman. Let's shove the Claw. That's a miss. Okay, 21. So 1 on the Claw as well. So let's add Mortem the Virago. As realistically, it's the only thing I need to hit. Gonna heal Tamara. That's a nope. We're gonna heal the Bowman because realistically, if I take them out, it's not gonna help me as much. Piercing arrows to add Blight to the Virago. Disrupt to see if we hit him. Didn't get what we wanted, so Claw goes down, which now bleeds out.
Obliterated.
I'd say it was obliterated. That was more than its max health, I think. And bleeding. Come on, Robin. There we go. That's good, man. I love how his bow looked in that. Playtime is over, he says. It was. Taking that, leaving the rest. 1 second, cause cat. Come on, bear.
Killer.
So, treasure room, battle room. Beholder. Gorgon Beholder. And I didn't default party order. Need to move forward. Thankfully that doesn't move me. We are going to long arm this one. Oh, can't move it. That's right. Okay. Ignis Ember, maybe. There we go. Want to move the other thing, so the Gorgon got moved. Then we're gonna Whirlwind, hitting it. Really wanted that bleed on, that didn't work. Had like a 10 or 20% chance to resist that. Well, this is about to get interesting. Select a hero. We're going healer. That was a mistake.
Injury and despondence set the stage for Hallowed.
Especially with them being so quick. At least one down. Other dog goes down. Alright. We're good. Hopefully. Shove. Add Mortem this thing. It bleeds out. Pernicosis, you're fine. You're fine.
Reeling, gasping, taken over the edge into madness.
The kill. Okay, don't have to worry about that. Okay, taking Sapphire.
Mount. So too will resistance.
We're gonna camp here, take the Ruby. Feast for the stress. Oh,
the battle may
camera, why? That was almost really, really bad. Okay. Night Watch. Prevent nighttime ambush. Oh, unholy hell. Well, encourage, get stress down. Consult Grimoire, get stress down. Survival skills for the scouting. And then serrated arrowheads, and we'll continue on. This is not good. Darien. Yeah, that's right. He only has toxic.
The human mind. Fragile. Like a robin's egg.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope. It's not what we're here for. Shoot tapestry again, though. Cool.
Are often low on supplies.
Shush. 3 afflictions, 1 virtue. Well, that's the thing. Of course. It doesn't really matter what we do here. We're gonna bleed them, so Ignis Ember. Then piercing arrows. Only got 2, unfortunate. Whirlwind, bleeding some more. One's bleeding for 18, another for 15. Good start. And then I see the escape cloud spam happening, which is going to blight the ever-living hell out of us. Oh, got mark prey on the marked. I'm gonna need to heal her if I get the chance. And another down. Okay, cool. Well, not what I would have wanted, but it works. Really? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, well, moving forward. Limb snipe the one that is in front. It bleeds out. Limb snipe the one in back. Lash's gift to heal. Long arm to do some damage, pull it, and then we can swift justice it to take it out. Okay. I could disrupt and do that, but I don't think that would heal us, so wasn't gonna bother taking the ruby. Continuing on. Bowman's good with traps. Also gonna get rid of that blight so we don't take unnecessary damage at this point. Ooh, okay. Okay, observed has turned to stalked, so the beholders are gonna be double as frequent. Lovely. And still nothing from Wildlife Madness. I'm a little disappointed. Beat them all. Shoving the beholder. It's got 10 health left, so if I Ignis Ember it goes down. We also put damage on the Cicada, which now bleeds out. So, just gonna do straight damage to the claw, which is a bigger bleed. And we should be good. Well, maybe. This does escape cloud, which is not great. Because the blight
Death
and the crit.
for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Healing. Camera. Not the time. Not the time. Need the bombard down. It blights out. Shove. Crit stress heals. Unfortunately, only on Pernicosis. Ad Mortem, please crit. Nope, okay. Oh, Anti-Venom. I don't think this is going to heal her, by the way, when she gets this back, but we can still do it. And then the kill. Yeah, doesn't do that at the end of the battle. Something about coding something, blah blah blah. I remember that talk with a few people. Yeah, we're gonna keep what we have. Let that go. Anti-venom this. Open the coffin. Nothing in there we need.
Waiting to be spent.
I am towing that line, man. Yet again, Beholder. I know I'm stocked, so like, not the heal we needed, Darian. Not the heal we needed.
Perched at the very precipice.
Oh, that's Tamara done. Yeah, this needs to be the end. If Darian was able to get the heal off that I wanted, that would have been a different thing. But the fact that everyone was afflicted is what's causing this. And unfortunately, the Wildlife Madness does not want to spawn. These beholders are being buttheads. Ooh. Trying to think here. Let's limb snipe the bombard here just because that escape cloud's gonna be rough. Healing Pernicosis. We just lost our biggest damage dealer because of that bleed, I think. And that's actually what I was going to be using on a boss that was up and coming, so that's a little rough. We're going to limb snipe the beholder in the back. That way the low and behold doesn't do as much. Man, that thing can hit for a lot when it wants to. Gonna long arm the Shriekling. Swift Justice the Claw. Healing Pernicosis. Alright, so Bombard goes down. 3 bleed on Claw. 4 bleed on Beholder. The Beholder is the one I really don't want hitting me, so we're gonna take it out. It goes down. Oh no, it has 8. But we can hit it with Ignis Ember now. Or don't need to because we took something else out. Okay. I wasn't sure that it would count. Why did the Shriekling go away? Okay, well, one less thing to deal with. Cool. With Justice. Corvid Souvenir, Shriekling. Gonna take that. I'm out at this point. We're not continuing with these 3 heroes. Robin can't do piercing arrows, which is the main thing I had him doing. And he's a little gimped, only using limb snipe in the kill. And we don't have our main damage dealer doing like 20 damage around to 1 to 2 targets. So even if I were to run into that, either of the things I would like to fight, or stressed out beyond belief, it's not going to work out. So that might be a thing we can try for again. I was really hoping this group would work out, but things happen. I also was playing a little silly at some times, so. Alright, let's get out of here. I might lose some of these tapestries. Nope, okay.
Failure tests the metal.
I did not get the Grimoire of the Cult, but we still got quite a bit of gold. 20,000 gold. Tamara did not make it out. Got the worries on Pernicosis, Gambler, so I need to get rid of both of those. Phasmophobia, so plus stress versus Yokai, and Berry, which I need to get rid of, and Hylomania again on Darien.
There is a great horror beneath the manor.
And
crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
Pre-mentioned Matriarch. So there are a few colors. One that was given to us was purple, but there is white or gray. I think it's supposed to be white. There's a red dragon, and then the base green. I actually really like the white one. We're gonna go with the white. So she is a Blight class. I'll go more into her tomorrow. We are gonna play with her as a apprentice first, and ooh, she has Plutomania. Yikes. But then I'm gonna do some shenanigans, and she'll be up to level 6 for next time after that we use her. Her weapon is her hands, and her armor is her bones. But we'll have some fun with her. There is quite a bit of shenanigans you can do with her. I don't think I have any of her trinkets, so I might have to mod in some of her trinkets for this run. Normally something I wouldn't do, but all things considered, like it would be hard to get them otherwise. So now the Ripperkin stuff is appearing. I had been looking around all the time for the Ripperkin stuff, and the Ripperkin Dogblade Launcher had been mentioned to me for the Ripperkin. Now I see why they mention it. On friendly skill, knockback 3 and range hit additional 4 damage. I love it. This is why they wanted or told me to get this if I like Day of Ruin, because it, like the Laughing Sagiri for the Cataphract here, with her onslaught moves, it knocks her back into row 1, so it's a really, really good trinket. It does minus all damage on melee skills, so good trade-off, but she can't use many melee skills there. I am finally seeing some other trinkets around the hamlet, so kind of nice. That will be it for this time. That's going to be the plan, is to level up use the Matriarch and an apprentice, then a veteran next time, looking for like the Wild Hunt in Europe and all that jazz, and we'll go from there. So that'll be it for this time. As always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, please. Have a good one.